Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day in the month of October. It decides the movie, and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1962 film Carnival of Souls, which was directed by Herc Harvey. My name is Alec.
I'm Erik.
And neither of us have ever seen this movie. And I just want to know, right off the bat, give me one sentence, what is this movie to you?
I enjoyed it, and it felt like a Twilight Zone episode.
Dude, I thought the exact same thing.
A long Twilight Zone episode.
Oh my god, you literally are like taking the words out of my brain, dude. I was like, it felt like a long Twilight Zone episode that was just like more cinematically shot.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing before we even get going into this? I am pumped to see these public domain free movies on this podcast because I am so sick of renting these movies off Amazon Prime, and I'm so happy I don't have to give Jeff Bezos another $2.99 for this one. I think I had to rent Scream, The Witch, Child's Play. There's been a few. I think you had to rent a few more than me because I have a bunch of these on DVD. But
Yes, it is strange having access to like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, HBO Max, Showtime, like all these things, and none of them have like any of these horror movies during Halloween.
no,
Okay, that makes sense.
but this one's public domain, and
Yeah.
so is Night of the Living Dead was public domain. So that was great, just straight off YouTube. I can't wait till I'm like 90 years old in a nursing home or something, and oh sweet, Iron Man's public domain now, and I get to watch Iron Man on YouTube.
Yeah, seriously, you'll be like watching Fast and Furious 7 when you're 92.
This is great. Public domain's awesome.
But dude, this movie, I mean,
Sorry.
you liked it? You liked
Yeah,
it?
dude, I enjoyed it. It was, it's nice to, give respect your elders. Obviously it's a lot slower. You're not seeing Vin Diesel in a Fast and the Furious car, like going off the Sears Tower or whatever, doing crazy like CGI. I mean, it's a simple movie, and it was, well shot. The cinematography was awesome.
Mhm.
I like the pipe organ kind of carnival music. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I made popcorn. I had a Diet Coke, and I really just tried to give myself a little movie experience. So
That's the best way to watch this, man. That's how they
yeah,
intended it.
yeah, that's how I wanted to watch it. And this is the oldest one on our wheel.
Yep.
And I say next time we do a couple more older ones. I
Yeah.
mean, I would like to do, in 1922, not Nosferatu came out, so we should do a super duper 100-year anniversary spin the wheel episode and like
Mm.
make a big deal about it, like get streamers and stuff and party hats.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally down. I enjoyed watching a movie I hadn't seen before, especially an old movie like this, Criterion Collection. You're like, all right, there's a reason why it's involved in that. But right from the start, the way this movie started, I initially watched it on YouTube, and it's like it just starts, and it's so
Yeah.
abrupt that
No credits. Yeah.
I thought there was a mistake. So I was like, okay. So I like looked it up on something else and tried to watch it on that, and it started the same way. And I was like, okay, so we're doing this with nothing. Okay. And dude, I don't know if it's the version I watched, but the audio was horrific.
Probably the version, probably the upload. Yeah.
Okay, was it bad for you?
It was bad, but it wasn't horrible. Like I understood everything. The when people were talking, it was a little hard to understand once in a while. I don't know if it's because like old accent where I just don't understand what
No.
they're
Okay.
talking, but
This must have been the version I was watching because the audio was so bad that I was really having trouble understanding what they were saying. Those people, the guys between the girls when they were driving. I was like, what are they saying?
hey, yeah. Do you want to drag? It's like, what
Yeah.
did you say? Like, you want to drag? Do you want to do a drag race right now? Is that you want to drag and you hang a Louie right at the light right there? That's what it sounds like. It's hard to hear these people.
Yeah, they have the race and they crash the car and they die, and you're just like, wow, this is a weird start. Okay. And I don't know, man. I'm so confused, kind of. So, like, she survives, and then she just is like, well, I guess I'm just gonna go on with my life, like nothing ever happened, and move to Utah.
You knew she was dead, right?
At the beginning, I was like, I'm so confused because everyone's interacting with her, but then when she goes into the department store and then she starts talking to people, nobody can hear her. I'm like, okay, so is she a ghost now? And then yeah, and then they do like the same sequence twice where it's like she goes to the pavilion and then she comes back and then she's not a ghost anymore, but then people can't see her, but then they can. So I was like, what is happening right now?
It definitely kind of bounces around a little disjointed. It's like she's at the pavilion, then she's back at the church, and now people can see her and people can't see
Yeah.
her, and it's like, what's going on? Why is it like kind of half-assed? Like people can see her, people can't.
Right.
Yeah, but like you said, she climbs out alive,
So
evidently alive, and I mean, come on, she's dead. We know, we're in our 30s, we're 2020. She's dead.
I
People
know,
in 1962 probably couldn't figure it out, but we do because we're smart. We watch Twilight Zone. We're smart. We know story structure, Alec. We're smart people.
but I'm just so confused why she
I'm just
didn't
kidding.
react to, like, anybody to her friends being killed or her surviving that. She's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna move to Utah and be a organist at this church now." It's very strange, like, the way the character behaves, it doesn't justify anything, so you're like, "Okay, whatever, I'm on board." Start seeing
Mm.
the scary man's face, she sees the pavilion, you're like, "Okay, so maybe death is following her because it didn't get her." So in my mind, I was like, "Oh, this is kinda like Final Destination where, like, she survived and death now has to get her sort of thing." And then she slowly was creeping into death as the movie went on. I don't then the end just
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah, I think there's a little sin component to it too, where she's
yeah,
damned. She's supposed to be in the Carnival of Souls and be kept there because, she's not volunteering for the church, which
right.
is what some people do. She's like, I'm taking money from the church.
Mhm,
She's like, I'm an organist. I'm a good organist, and I need a paying job, and I'm gonna take it from the church. And like, people are like, even the drunk was like, that's kind of not what you do in the church, but that's pretty standard today. But yeah, no, I think that was like a little hint, like, ooh, don't take money from the church or your soul
yeah,
will be damned. But I don't know.
mhm.
I
No,
got that part of it.
yeah, I think you're right, that is definitely an element to it. She just yeah, it is, like, disrespectful, I guess, and she's yeah, it's weird though, but her character also, like, not interested in being in relationships with anybody, doesn't wanna have friends, doesn't wanna have a boyfriend, doesn't want any of these things, and you're like,
She doesn't want to drink. She seems pretty wholesome.
yeah, but her character it's just strange, it's a strange thing. She's wants to be as plain as can be, almost. I don't know.
I think maybe after the accident, she kind of had this attitude where she didn't want to be around anybody because she's so strange now. She feels weird. But yeah,
Mm,
the actress is Candice Hilligoss, and she is still alive, and she's about 85 years old. She played the main character, Mary, the one who survives the car crash, and we follow her throughout the rest of the movie.
mhm.
And I scroll through the rest of the cast. She's definitely one of the younger cast members, but she's literally the only one still kicking and alive. Everyone else seems to have passed away from this. The director is also Herc Harvey is the same guy who plays the creepy man.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked that
So
up too. That's yeah, that's cool. I'm glad he was able to do it. He's scary looking, and then he does a good job with the makeup.
yeah.
There was a couple other elements that felt like I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this did come out a long time ago," because
Hmm.
The Shining kind of feels a little bit like that at the end when you see them all dancing and stuff, like, it's like a time from the past, and, like, she's always kinda been a part of this sort of thing. I got that a little bit when I was watching it.
Yeah, and they also mentioned that the carnival was there in Salt Lake City, and it used to be like a ballroom pavilion,
Mhm, like a
and
bathhouse.
yeah, they mentioned the bathhouse, a dance place, and then a carnival, and the carnival closed down. I mean, maybe that's why like the ghosts and spirits are like some are like carnival looking and others are dancing. And it's scary, it's just like that idea of just weird, it's strange, like why is this happening? And it's scary. And this is before Night of the Living Dead. I read something online that George A. Romero was influenced by this movie.
Yeah,
You can kind of see it too,
for
like
sure.
with the zombie kind of vibe at the end when they're chasing her.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the last 5 minutes is probably my favorite part, except for the ending, I really didn't like that, but the chase and all that stuff, that's pretty creepy.
It honestly felt like it was giving, I mean, I know it's an old film, it's 60s, but it felt like it was giving a nod to 1920s silent films, Nosferatu, Phantom of the Opera, and how it went full silent at the end. Her getting chased, music. You didn't hear many, like, her screaming. It was just ends, and you don't hear any stomping or, like, chasing noises or grunting. Just
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah, I like, yeah, that how all of their faces come together and just goes right black, and it's just over, you're like, "Ooh, that is pretty jarring."
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like these 1950s kinda like B movies. It felt like that kind of atmosphere, but just the way it was shot was just much more modern, I guess,
Yeah.
like, groundbreaking for the time. Every shot definitely felt like, "Okay, this doesn't." Alright, what I'm trying to say is, like, back in the '50s, it seemed like a lot of things it was almost like you were shooting, like, a play, basically, like, it was just a stationary room with a bunch of people just talking. This felt like it had a lot of different angles, and it created an atmosphere throughout the entire time that I would say for the time would feel really groundbreaking, but to us now, we're like, "This seems pretty standard," but you have to try and
Yep.
look through that lens.
I did a little research and tried to give it credit it deserves. Herc Harvey was one of the directors and creators of this, who plays the man, is his character's name, the creepy man. Apparently, the budget was only $33,000, which is about $280,000 with inflation, which is dirt to make a movie that is quality. This movie bombed, bombed in the box office, and he didn't make a penny. He actually gave up his earnings to make this movie. He just wanted to make a movie to make a movie. So just respect all the moves he made and respect the effort.
Yeah,
This movie took effort and was original, and the cinematography is kind of really good.
it is. Yeah, absolutely. Everything you just said is right. Like, it's not. Yeah, it's probably people just weren't ready for it, so it probably got dismissed. But the way, like that shot too, where it's at the organ room and she's down and it's like,
From like the overhanging shot,
yeah,
awesome.
that's so good. And a lot of the wide shots of her walking through the abandoned carnival, you're just like, this is really well done. It really is. The plot might be a little disjointed and the acting's a little strange at times, but overall, like it's a very original movie.
Yeah, yeah. I love the fake driving in this movie too. You know how people drive and they're just like
Oh,
kind of turning a wheel constantly,
oh yeah.
like derpy 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 derp. I'm driving, and I just like that's like one of my favorite pastimes is watching people fake drive.
Yeah, she was ridiculous.
That wheel was just going left and right.
Yeah, she was that first scene though, yeah, and when she is driving and the guy pops up in the side view window, that was pretty good. That was pretty scary, and then you can't really see the pavilion because it's so dark. You're like, "What is that?" And she's driving in the distance. A lot of it is scary because it's so hard to see a lot of things.
Yeah, the lighting is pretty unique. And also she drives like the day after she was in a terrible car accident.
I
And then
know.
what does she do? She drives right into a bank and gets in another car accident. It's like, okay, maybe you should get a bicycle or something because or get your eyes checked. And she wasn't driving the original car, but
There's kinda like 2 ways you could look at this. It's like, is this all in her head? Like, let's just say let's look at it from this way. Let's say she survived that crash somehow. Let's just say she did, okay? And she is just maybe had some trauma to her head, so she's kind of, like, experiencing some sort of mental anguish. Maybe she was already diagnosed with bipolar or schizophrenia or something like that, and this whole movie is her, like, slowly losing her mind after that trauma and not dealing with what happened, and
she
I don't know, to me, it's scary because she's hallucinating the whole movie. She's losing her senses, all of these things, and
she's dead, dude. You see her at the end of the movie in the car.
I know, so that's the thing. I was trying to look at it from, like, 2 different ways, but yeah, no, I know. She is dead at the end of the movie, and that's another thing. It's like, so this was all just a dream then?
I think she was a wandering soul, but it was so fresh and no one saw the dead body yet. So that was like
But dude,
the her soul could still be recognized by people.
like,
And especially in Kansas City where she no one knows her.
that was Utah.
And then she got in the car crash off the bridge in Kansas with
Oh,
those two other people. Then she moves to Salt Lake City, Utah and gets a place. So I think she's just a wandering soul who ends up
yeah.
in the carnival pavilion.
Okay, but okay, so she's dead, but then
Mhm.
everybody can see her until randomly in Salt Lake City she starts hallucinating essentially, and then nobody can see her for a little while, and then they can see her again. But then at the end, they find the beach and they're like,
They
"Hey, her body's just gone." But then they find it in the thing. So what is happening? She interacted with all these people.
I think she was a wandering soul, and
Come on.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the carnival got her, that time, and I don't know. I don't know.
That's why I feel like this needs a Twilight Zone, like, your soul can only, like, wander for so long without being brought back into the Twilight Zone. Like, it needed that at the end to kind of like, "Oh, okay."
Until they recover your body, your soul wanders the earth,
Yeah.
like kind of thing. And if you have unfinished business, she didn't have unfinished business. She was just going to Salt Lake City and just kind of playing the organ still. There was no like reason to it. I think it was punishment for her organist stuff. It sounded like.
So
Speaking of organs, I've always wanted to just hit a big ass organ and just play it for a couple minutes. I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play piano either. I would just be like da 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 for a while. There was one at my school, my college at Sacred Heart University. I was in the church choir and there was not a lot of people there. And like I was with George and he was like, "You won't play the organ." And I'm like, "I'm too afraid. Like I don't want to get in trouble." And like we're in church, but maybe an alumni event or something. I'll sneak in there and play the organ for like Phantom of the Opera,
like,
Phantom of the Eric. I'll just go crazy.
it's not something you can really hide too easily if
Da 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 da
yeah.
da da.
Like, "Were you playing the organ?" You're like, "No." It's like, "There yes, you were."
There was a mouse that just ran all over the keys and then left.
Wow, wow.
That's what happened. I saw it. It was a big mouse.
Yeah, no, the The, priest is pretty unforgiving too, and she's just playing what? Just random music, and he's like, "That's not Chris."
She like goes in a trance and starts like thinking she's at the carnival and starts playing like carnival. Why is carnival music evil and sinful? But she's
Yeah, I don't
playing
know.
carnival music.
Well, okay, so then the priest who, I guess, aren't they supposed to be forgiving? Should have been like, "Hey, listen, you can't do that." She's like, "I'm sorry, father." It was just like, "No, you need to quit." It's like, "Why? I'm sorry, I won't do that again." It's like, "No, no, 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 no. There's the door." Like, sort of thing. That was pretty crazy though, how quickly she got fired.
Yeah, I mean, she's in a holy place and playing kind of evil music, and so she's like sacrilegious, and you need to
Okay.
resign.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. There were
Yeah, yeah. There's come on. There's a lot of reaches like that.
Yeah, I know. I don't wanna dig into it, like, really, like, shit on it too hard because it is actually very good, but there are some parts you're like, "Hmm, hmm."
My favorite part is when they get in the accident and go off the bridge, and there's a guy with a little tiny dinky hook thing. Like, and I'm talking maybe 4 inches bigger than a fish hook with
Yeah,
a rope that's a half inch thick.
yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna get the car and then pull it up. And it's like,
Dude,
like, did
that's
you
like
see that?
yeah.
If anyone like, watch the first 2 minutes of this movie, anyone, and watch this guy with the rope hook thing. It's the silliest shit you'll ever see. It's just
That's
him,
what
just like,
you put a piece of pepperoni on and then go crabbing with it, like, that's the kinda hook that you use for that.
I'm gonna pull up the Chevy. It's like, you're not gonna pull up the Chevy with that, Tom. He's like, watch. He's just
Yeah,
like tossing it back in there.
takes them 3 days to get the car out of the freaking thing, though.
Yeah, that's why she's wandering.
Yeah, their
Like,
bodies
Tom,
looked, fantastic for being underwater for 3 days.
right? Oh, you can tell they're so cold. They're shivering. They're not dead.
Yeah, that was
You
just
can
so
see them
funny.
like moving and like her eyelids are kind of twitching because it's like they're
Did it suck
soaked.
that much in the '60s? Like, was it that hard for them? It's like, "Oh, a car went in the water. Alright, it's gonna take 72 hours to get that car out, and also
If you
we don't have the resources to go down and get their bodies out either." It's like, "What?"
if you got Tom with a little dinky hook, it's gonna take a while to get that car with this dude. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know. Damn, there was one oh, yeah, so I read or I heard a little bit about the place where it was filmed. It's pretty kinda creepy, actually. So, it was built to be like a little dance hall or whatever like it was a long time ago, like over 100 years ago. It burnt down, and then they rebuilt it, and then it burnt down again, and then they rebuilt it again, and it got flooded, but it didn't get destroyed 100%. So then they rebuilt it, so it is still there, but it's
No
now
shit.
it's a concert hall in Salt Lake City. I gotta do more research about it, but I was watching this YouTube video, and they were kind of, like, diving deep behind the scenes of this movie, and
Huh.
yeah, they were talking about how the pavilion's been burnt down 2 full times, and then the 3rd time, it still got flooded, so I'm like, "Maybe they should stop."
Yeah.
You
It,
know?
it maybe just we don't need a carnival thing. But yeah, no, if I'm ever in Salt Lake City, I'm probably gonna do a little passerby and drive by. It's like that's the thing. That's the concert hall where they had the Carnival of Doom, and then I'm gonna keep driving and leave.
It's like, "Alright, it's a good
So
road
there,
trip."
there it is. It's like, Alec, check this out. I was like, that's cool, dude. So yeah, I'm gonna leave now, but just want to let you know I saw it.
I'm glad. Do you think that the carnival is like a portal to hell or another dimension?
That's a lot. I think it's a limbo, if anything,
Hmm.
in between. But it seems like the carnival itself is evil. Like it's not a good place.
Yeah, everybody looks, like, dead, and I mean, like, not just dead, but, like, yeah, like, they're intent on hurting you sort of thing. They're
Yeah,
chasing
it's like
you
a
and
it's like a limbo to hell. It's like we're gonna let you find out on your own that you're dead, and then
yeah,
you
because the priest doesn't wanna go in there. He's just like, "Oh," I don't he's trying to act like, "Oh, I don't wanna it would be bad for a priest to break the law."
know. When's the last time you were at a carnival?
I went to one in Newport, Rhode Island, like, 2 years ago.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I, I was at the Unionville, Connecticut Carnival. I think it's called the Firehouse Carnival or
yeah,
something. And I think it was 2013 was the last carnival I've been to. It was fun.
yeah, they're
I didn't
cool.
I didn't really do anything. I felt like too big. It's like I don't really want to slide down the slide in a burlap sack, and I don't have any kids, so it looked weird. I
Yeah.
was by myself. But
Well, you know what's funny is there's a I mean, obviously, you know the amusement park, but it's Lake Compound, so they have, like, an old dance hall too, like, in that area, and that amusement park is haunted.
the crock pot,
Yeah, it's by the crock pot. Yeah. No,
you're talking to a Lake Compounds expert over here. Been there a lot.
but that's an amusement park that's notoriously haunted, and there's been deaths that have happened on there that are pretty strange, and
Why,
that's
why do you think I go there so much?
I don't know, you like the
I
scary
love.
atmosphere?
Well, they have good chicken tenders too and fries.
Yeah, and unlimited PepsiCo products.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I
yeah,
think they got rid of that. Yeah,
well,
rightfully so, because diabetes was happening like quick. So
yeah, well, yeah. what I try to do with movies I haven't seen before that I don't have this, like, nostalgic tie to for older movies, I really try to watch them and be like, "Okay, I'm watching this as if I've never seen any horror movie before," sort of thing, because it's so hard for you to be like, "Wow, like, this I've seen this so many times done, it just feels repetitive and doesn't feel
Mhm.
groundbreaking," but this must have been a groundbreaking film at the time that people just didn't know how to appreciate the same way.
Apparently, this became a movie within a double feature, and it took off, and this became a cult classic, big time cult classic. One of the bigger ones you can think of for the time, especially. It has a huge following of fans, and I think Roger Ebert and a bunch of critics said this movie is before its time
Yeah.
and needs some credit. And I think there's a lot of top 100 articles and stuff, and they always list this around the like, top 50 horror movies of all time. And that's why I put it on the wheel because I was like,
Mm.
I don't know this movie. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't know the plot. It sounds cool. Who doesn't love the carnival, Alec? Everyone loves the carnival. So
Yeah.
I added to the wheel, and also wheels. Wheels are fun. Ferris wheels, carnivals. Come on, wheel horror.
No, I'm glad you did because I was just about to ask you, like, where did you hear about this movie? But yeah, there's no way that anybody who watches this movie would be like, "This is a bad movie. Like, this movie sucks."
No,
Like,
I didn't.
but
I didn't get that at all.
no, and I mean, especially again, because it's a Criterion Collection, they're very exclusive about what they put on there, and yeah, there's a reason that's so good. The score's very interesting. It follows her the whole time, and it makes me feel like is it real the whole time because it's playing in her head almost, but then she's playing it the same music that's playing in her head. She's playing on the piano, so you're like, is this real or not?
Yeah, so you're thinking maybe because she never finds out. Oh, I died in the crash. Maybe she died by the carnival people, and then her body ends up back in the car because they go in the water. I don't know.
That's why
Yeah,
I'm so confused because in my mind, I'm just like, they wouldn't have found that patch on the beach with all, like, the handprints and all of her body and the ending of the footprints, and then her body be back in the water in a different state. You're just like that messes with your mind in a way that I'm like, "Damn it, I need a little more. I need just a tiny bit more justification."
because Twilight Zone was out before, right? This Twilight
Yeah.
Zone's older than this
Twilight Zone came
movie.
out in '59.
Yeah, so this movie's years after that, and it probably saw that and it's like, "Ooh, what if, like, she doesn't find out she's dead and she was alive?" And then like, it could have done a twist on it, and that's kinda interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you like Twilight Zone, you'll probably like this a lot. It's lacking it's a little too long to justify, I think, the plot of what it is. I feel like you don't need the whole department store and then for her to have kind of the same thing happen where she goes out and she hears the
Back
birds
and
and
forth, back to the pavilion, back to the
yeah,
pavilion. Yeah, she goes back and forth a lot, yeah.
but they needed to have 2 to make it like a feature film, I guess. But otherwise, like the point gets across the first time.
I wonder if we watched a long version because I think there are shorter versions out there that they made shorter for double features
Hmm.
so that theaters could show more shows that day.
Yeah, but
Just cut the movies down.
it's a short movie as it is. It's 80 minutes even if it wasn't cut down.
Yeah, I wonder if they just cut down to 75 minutes each. Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
For the
Yeah.
double feature.
One thing I just wanted to hear your thoughts on, what about that pervert dude that lives across the hall from her? What do you think of him?
He was drinking in the morning, drinking in the evening,
Drinking at
drinking
supper
in
time?
supper time. That guy was, yeah, he was very pushy. He's like, "Ah, girl's here. Like, guess who's gonna jump on her?" And
Yep.
he's kind of just a dick. And then she finally like needs help, and he's like, "Ah, you need help? Need something? I'm gonna go drink in my room now." And just leaves her. Literally, that's what he does. He's like, "You're crazy. The last thing I need is a crazy woman."
He is a real just alcoholic, especially he's like, "Yeah, I'd
Oh,
like to be a
jeez.
little cheery in the morning." I'm like, "You're pouring," and then trying to pour it in hers too, and it's so gross where he's just like, "Oh, don't wash it, it'll ruin the flavor for tomorrow." It's
What
like, "Oh."
the heck? Like, hey, like your coffee cup. He
Yeah.
doesn't ever wash it. He's like, "Oh, it gives a nice flavor for the morning next
Oh,
day with coffee." Oh, gross.
yeah. That's so disgusting. Yeah, but he was very aggressive, but all the men in this movie are like the doctor who talks to her, dude, he like is grabbing her. He's like, honey, like you're freaking out. You gotta come to my office. Come to me. And he's grabbing her. He's like, I'll walk you over there. And just is like holding her the whole time. And you're like, Jesus, like times have changed. Like that would be so weird.
For the better. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was back then. Yeah.
It's like, come on, sweetheart, let me hold on to you for 10 minutes while I'm yelling in your face, and you're gonna come with me. And she's like, okay, mister.
I'm gonna make you uncomfortable, and it's normal for this era of time to make you uncomfortable. It's like, geez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was creepy. Yeah, it was very, very weird. Oh, and another thing that this would never happen is when he goes to the body shop and she's like, "Can I just sit in the car while you work on it, sir?" And he's just like, "You suit yourself, miss." And it's like, dude, how many lawsuits could
Oh
that?
yeah, like yeah, sit in the car, as I lift you 10 feet in the air with
Don't get out, miss.
heavy machinery.
He
You'll be fine. and no lawsuits, and I won't lose my job. Like, yeah.
Oh my god, could you imagine now, like, your boss comes like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what are you doing, Eric? You're allowed to sit in the car, man?" You're like it's like, "What?" She
But
says,
she
"What?
wants to sit in the car. You know, keep her in the car.
What are you doing? Get it out from there." You're like, "I'm
Oh, come
sorry."
on. The last one, it wasn't my fault. The thing broke. Crushed her like the Terminator.
Yeah, that was just so I was like, "Okay, this would never happen." Just the cars in general, even back then, I'm like, "Okay, I know cars were built well in the '60s," but I'm trying to imagine driving on the highway in one of those things from Kansas to Utah by yourself. I'm like, "That thing's gonna break down."
It's a death trap. I mean, cars, I mean, there was no airbags back then. So if you hit the brakes fast, your head would just go right into the steering wheel. And there's no crumple zones. Cars are
I
designed to
know.
crumple. And back then, if you got in, it's just like hitting steel against a brick.
Dude, you could tell when, the man jumps out in front of her in the first time when she sees the pavilion and the car goes off the road, it just goes like, "Dunk." It doesn't even attempt to, like, bounce or anything like that, it just
Yeah.
shoves right into the thing, you're like, "Wow, these cars are" yeah, they're just metal, just hard metal.
Well, also, like the when it hits the water, that thing just sinks. It doesn't. It doesn't like, hey, the tires are keeping it floating a little bit. No, it goes right in the water and under
What
with people inside too. So
I
it's like,
wanna
damn.
that's the thing, I kinda wish this movie had, like, 10 minutes beforehand where you get to see those girls interacting with each other a little bit, and it's just like, "Oh, you don't have a boyfriend, Mary Sue," or, like, whatever. Just to give it a little bit of plot, a little bit, and then you can have him race and then have her die. Just give us something to explain why her character, like, doesn't wanna have friends or a boyfriend and is like, "I'm isolating myself." Like, why?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, we're picking it apart too much, but still,
No, the hook thing wins. The hook and the thing, like getting the car out with that is just hysterical to think about. But no, I enjoyed this movie a lot. You know what? I was also, like I said, I watched this and tried to close the blinds, made the room dark,
got your
got
Diet Coke.
popcorn, got my Diet Coke with ice, drank it through the straw too, trying to give it an authentic feel. Man, I miss movie theaters. You know, I
Mhm.
miss going to the movie theaters. I probably would go. I'm a little still uncomfortable with COVID,
Are they
but
open in Connecticut?
they're open, they're open. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's no movie. There's Tenet, which I wanna see, and then there's, like, The War with Grandpa with Robert De Niro. It's like, I'm not risking my life for that movie, like, ugh.
Tenet came out in, like, July, that's still in theaters?
I know. I'm like, when are they just streaming it? I really cannot wait for things to get back to normal so I can just sit in the movie and just really not ever hear my phone buzz, just straight up watch a movie. I think that'd be good to have again, you
Yeah,
know?
I
I
can't wait
miss
to
that.
see
I miss it.
I wanna see Halloween Kills in theaters so bad.
So badly, so badly, and I'm so proud of them for not just putting it to streaming.
Yeah.
That's so cool that they're just like, "We're done. We know we can cash in on streaming, but we're gonna give you the theater experience." I'm like, "Yes, points."
We say that right now, and all of a sudden it's like, they Blumhouse drops it on Halloween, surprise! We're just like, "Oh, I love it."
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'll watch it. It's not like I'm doing anything for Halloween. I'll be dressed up as Indiana Jones in my kitchen making chicken fingers and just, "What are you doing on Halloween this year?" "Nothing." That's
It's
what I'm
so funny
doing.
to imagine you, you're just like, you're fully decked out, but you're not going anywhere, and you're just like, "Well, just have some chicken wings and, put on a scary movie."
Put on AMC, you know? AMC is my channel this time of year,
Yeah,
honestly, too,
it is
so
the best. Alright, well, what do you say you spin that wheel?
let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
I feel like if the wheel's gonna come from anywhere, it would have escaped from the Carnival of Souls.
Dude, we only have 2 left. We have The Thing and we have Sinister. But after we spin this out, we're gonna know the final one, too. We got Sinister. We got Sinister.
You've never seen it, right?
I've never seen Sinister.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
is it similar to The Conjuring? I feel like those go
No.
hand in hand. No, it's different?
No, yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. So that means the last spin on Halloween will be The Thing, and that's cool. I can't wait to talk about both of those.
Alright, perfect. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow for Sinister.
Let's go.